What is going on, everybody? It is Hitmonchanning here, finally back with another deck tech video. It's been a while. I ain't given views on my my update video, 4 total views. That's pretty fantastic. So a lot of people probably don't know what's going on if you just watch my deck techs and literally nothing else. So yeah, I'm back with a brand new deck tech, and first things first, forgive me if this isn't the best in the world. I'm still a little iffy. I haven't been playing Pokemon TCG in a long time, but now that I'm back on track, you should be getting videos more regularly out to my viewers. So without further ado, let's begin. This deck stars Golisopod-GX, which is from Burning Shadows, Sun and Moon 3, that will come out very soon, I believe. Or not very soon, but near future. It'll be out, and I'm actually very excited for this one. I'm gonna go through all the cards I have, then I'll explain and tell you what they do and all that. Then I'll explain the strategies used here. It shouldn't be that hard to figure out. So first off, we got Golisopod-GX, star of the show. That we have 4 of those and 4 win pods. Main attack you're gonna be using is First Impression. Then we're gonna scroll down. We got Tauros-GX, 2 of those. Okay, trainers. Now, I used mostly, or if I could, all cards from the Sun and Moon's decks, or sets, because, let's face it, and I just saw the rotation recently, like I just saw it as I was making this video. Forest of Giant Plants is no longer legal, which hurts this deck a lot. So I have opted out for Aether Paradise Conservation Area, basically basic grass and basic lightning. Take 30 less damage, so that's gonna help your Wimpod survive right here. And then we got Switch, Prof's Letter, Sycamore. We all know what those do. Switch Pokemon, Prof's Letter, discard hand, draw 7. Or Sycamore, yeah. Prof's Letter, get 2 energies. Multi-switch, which is basically energy switch or mover, which it moves in energy. That's pretty much it. Field Blower. I actually like this card a lot. Choose up to 2 in any combination of Pokemon tool cards and stadium cards in play. I'm sorry I can't read this. The text is really small. I gotta get better pictures. Choice Band, which basically does 30 more to GX and EX that are active, which is pretty sick. This is gonna be damage boost, obviously. Ultra Ball, get Pokemon, discard 2. Nest Ball, get basic Pokemon. Rotom Decks, shuffle your prizes into your deck and then draw new ones, which I love. And Repel is basically your opponent switches an active with one of their bench. That's it for trainers. Now for energy, we have 2 DCEs and 12 grass energy. So we're gonna go way back to the top over here, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what this deck is about and the strategy. So the main thing here is to get 2 Golisopods and constantly switch them out so you can hit hard for First Impression, because First Impression, I don't remember if it's, I'm pretty sure it's plus 90 if it attacks on the first turn it's active. Pretty sure. You know what? I'm actually gonna pause this video and then I'll get back to you on that one. Okay, so I just checked, and yes, it is plus 90, so you're doing a grand total of 120 damage per attack. And that's basically your standard strategy, is when you switch them out constantly, and you may run out of switch, and that's where I couldn't remember what the card was that lets you retrieve items, or if it was even legal anymore. I know it exists, so please help me out with that in the comments below, and I will put a disclaimer in the description after to help you get your switches back. Or you could always retreat, but that might be difficult with a 3 retreat cost. And if worse, and then after here, I'll go through the first strategy, then there's a second one that I think is less effective, or I feel will be less effective, but will still work. Now for the back to the first strategy, we have 2 Tauros-GX. And no, that's just not to have more Pokemon in the deck. This actually has a role. The role of the Tauros is to actually stall your opponents out and get them scared to hit it. because I've done many decks with Tauros before. I've done my Toucan on deck. I love running Tauros, because you can do Rage, and then you can hit them hard with 1 DCE as you're preparing your Wimpods, your Golisopod. You're getting energy ready for them. And Tauros is a great way to stall. You have 2 in here to get it. Now we'll move on to the trainers. Aether Paradise Conservation. I pretty much already explained that. That's to keep your Wimpod alive. So they essentially do 30 less damage to basic Grass and Lightning. And I'm going to make a Grass and Lightning deck too with All Sun and Moon cards. That's going to be really fun to do. It's gonna involve Raichu in some way, which because I love the new Raichu. So stay tuned for that one. That one's gonna be really good. Then we have Switch, the star of the show over here. Basically, when you're switching your Golisopods or switching a Tauros to a Golisopod to do heavy damage. Prof Letter, easy to get energy. Prof Sycamore, discard hand and draw. That's the simple version. Multi-switch, to move energy if you need to, because it's move and energy from one of your bench to your active, not a normal energy. So that can be really helpful if you just switched out to put in, or if you have Tauros on the bench and Golisopod. This one is more for the second strategy you can shift to or use. Then we have Field Blower. This is a disruption card because you can discard any number of up to 2 Pokemon Tool and Stadium cards of yours and your opponent's. So if you wanna, I don't know, let's say your Stadium's benefiting them, you want to get rid of it, or they have tools that are really being a pain, you get rid of them, and then that's that. Now Choice Band does 30 more to Pokemon EX or GX for the Pokemon they are attached to. If you attach this to Golisopod and you're versing a GX or an EX, because EXs are still pretty prevalent in the meta, you are doing a whopping 150 for 1 energy each turn, which is really good. Now, unless there's other damage boosting cards I'm not aware of that are legal, please let me know, because like I said, this is my first deck tech in a while. I'm a little bit off my game, so I want you guys to help me out with that. Anyway, we have the Ultra Ball, which is to get your Golisopod, to get anything you need if you need a Tauros to stall. Basically, just to help you set up. Same thing with Nest Balls to get your, because it is basic, to get your Tauros, to get your Wimpod. Pretty much it. Rotom decks, I run 2. In case 1 is prized and you need some prize cards. That's why I run 2 instead of 1. Basically, change up your prize cards. I think a Rotom decks, at least 2, should be a necessity in every deck that you play. Every single one. Now we have Repels. Now these are basically good. I think they're going to be the better version of Pokemon Catcher. Not current Pokemon Catcher, because you don't have to flip. Only thing is your opponent gets to choose who they send up, but if you play and they only have, like let's say they have a GX and a standard little dinky basic, they're going to have to switch it, and that puts you in the perfect position to beat them down with whatever you have ready to fight. And then here we have our energy, and the energy is going to need a little bit of explaining. So yeah, we have your standard, we have 12 grass energy because that's the star here. You can go less, I say you could go 10 grass if you want to put in more items of anything or even something else. Even another trainer card, like another supporter or something, maybe a Lysander, to force your switches on your opponent, you can do that. But we only have 2 DCE, and for the first strategy, these are only used for Tauros in the first strategy, or if you want to pile on energies to retreat. Because using DCEs on Golisopod, if you're only using the first attack, is essentially useless, but that's just if you're only using the first attack, which I'll get to in 1 minute. But we put them on Tauros so you can do your instant attacks. So there's the first strategy. First strategy, switch out double Golisopods. You have 4 in case you lose 1, and if you lose 2, you're in a bad spot, but you still have 2 prizes left. So you keep on switching them out, and you keep on doing your heavy damage. Now for the second strategy, it involves the first and the second attack, and you can also use your GX. So the GX goes better with the first attack because basically you're doing the 150 you'd normally be doing against the GX or EX, and then you can switch back. I think that's good because we don't use lots of GX, like good GXs, unless you're in a really tight spot and you need to use Tauros to like really screw them up. Then that's when you use your Tauros EX. GX's attacks are always up to you whenever you want to use them. Anyway, now for the second strategy, doesn't involve as much preparing. Basically what you want to do is you want to get your Golisopod ready, get a DCE on there, then armor press and try and stall as much as you can. Now for this strategy, you can still use first impression and the switching mechanic. Tauros doesn't need it as much in this one, because Wimpods are heavily protected, essentially have 100 health with this 30 grace or whatever. So you don't really need Tauros, you don't really need some of these either. You can take out one Prof's letter, or not one, one Prof's letter even if you wanted, one Sycamore. You can take out some multi-switches if you want, field blowers if you don't need them. Choice bands I still recommend you keep because that's an extra 30 damage and you'll be doing 130 on the second attack, which is pretty good. I recommend you keep choice bands. You can take out whatever you want. You can even take out repels. You don't really need those. And what you want to do is add more DCEs in here, and then you can get armor press ready. So you can add more DCEs, or the option I would go is add more potions in. So you can keep healing up, and what you're doing, it's a stall deck. That's what this becomes into. It can hit hard for heavy attacks and low energy, but you can also stall with it, which is pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty much it. When all these cards come out, this is one of the decks I want to build, but after I'm done finishing up my grass deck that revolves around the new Raichu and Burning Shadows, that one I want to actually build and test out and competitive play first. That one's gonna be really interesting. It's gonna be a really fun deck. I hope it is. Anyway, that is my most recent deck tech, the Golisopod-GX. We're gonna give this one a name. I'm probably gonna call this First Impressions, because that's the name of the movie we're probably gonna be using. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video, sticking with me. You're gonna be getting lots more videos soon. You can trust me on that one. So, like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, standard stuff. I've gotten to 18 subscribers, so thank you, everyone who subscribed. Thank you a lot, it means so much to me. And I have a question for you guys. As always, any improvements to this deck, put in the comments. If I don't have time to respond, I'm actually a very busy person, which is pretty contradictory. But if I don't have time to respond, I'm sorry, but I do read every one of your comments, and I do edit my decks when I get the chance. So, any improvements as always, but also I want to know, since I am getting a new PC where I'll be able to actually do screen cap and more TCGO stuff, would you be interested in watching TCG deck tech live streams, like testing decks? Like the Wailord deck, I want to do a live stream test of that. That would be hilarious, the Wailord stall. So let me know if you guys would want to see that after you're done criticizing. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Do all the stuff I just said. Have a great day or night, and stay tuned for the next deck tech, guys. See you later.